All right, good morning, Acadiana. It is the Schultz Cast, episode number 53. We are going to let the dryer finish up. Or not the dryer, the washing machine. It's just finishing up a load right now. So if you hear that in the background, it's sitting right next to me. Don't have the biggest of all two-bedroom apartments. But that's in the spin cycle. If it hits a second spin cycle, like if it starts to wash again and then does that, I'll stop it. All right, but I think it's almost done. Okay, so still a bunch to talk about. And I'll be honest with you, maybe I need to subscribe to Division I baseball. I haven't seen any Cajuns in the transfer portal. Has that been a thing yet? Did I miss any Cajuns baseball players into the portal? I have not seen one yet. You can go to Kevin Foote. Let me see if he posted anything. He's been covering a bunch of stuff since this ended. It does not seem that way. Rage and Review. See if they posted anybody, and thanking them. Doesn't seem to be that way. All right. All right. So I haven't seen any Cajuns in the transfer portal. So that's interesting. There are some LSU guys that have entered into the portal. All right. One of the big things that happened yesterday, still happening. Apparently, Danny Hurley and the Lakers are going to talk today. That Woj bomb happened, I think, somewhere just before 7 a.m. Eastern time, something along those lines, because it was happening when I woke up, and that would have been at 6. Okay. Everyone is out of their minds about, well, this is the end of college sports because you got the football national champion coach going to the NFL, and you got the basketball national championship coach going to the NBA. But I think these are both case specific, right? Harbaugh's been trying to get back to the NFL for a few years. He takes his most loaded Michigan team, wins a national championship, and what's he trying to prove again? It doesn't. I got it, did it. I came here to win a national championship. I did it. Now he's going to Los Angeles for the Chargers. And usually when there's a coaching change, not always, but usually it's because there's a quarterback issue. Now, I may not be quite as high as everybody else is on Herbert because, well, I just haven't seen it yet. I mean, the stats are great and the throws look good, but he can't win. Now, was that because of the coach? Okay. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be a clutch, and then he's blown a huge playoff game. That was his first thing, right? He blew a playoff game against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. So I haven't seen anything there. But nonetheless, he's got a broken-in quarterback in the NFL. Doesn't have to break a new one in. And they were supposed to be good last year, right? This was, they were bad last year because I don't think they got over the playoff loss. But they were, I guess they had some turnover, wide receivers and such, but I think that's case specific to Harbaugh. And he got a lot of money. All right. And he's only going to do this for another handful of years. So now Danny Hurley is thinking about going. And I mean, talk about night and day. Storrs, Connecticut, little sleepy Storrs versus LA. Right. I mean, we're not talking Pistons. We're not talking Oklahoma City, although that may be a better job than the Lakers in terms of trying to win an NBA championship, right? He's not going to the Pacers. This is the Lakers. Now, if you heard people talk about it, right, the Lakers are notorious for not paying their coaches. They are very frugal when it comes to that, but maybe that may not be the case. I guess he just got an $8 million. He's making $8 million. And I don't know what massive means. It's 15, 20, 25 million, right? Money can't buy happiness, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And so we'll see what happens. But I just don't think that, these guys leaving for plum jobs in the professional ranks is a sign that college sports is coming crashing down. Okay. Now, if you wanted to use it, someone pointed out, Chip Kelly taking the offensive coordinator's job at Columbus. Now, I looked at Chip Kelly's job, his career for his first 25 years, he didn't make a dime. He was coaching at the lowest of all levels. From 1990 through 2006, that's 26 or 27 years, whatever, however you want to count it. Columbia, New Hampshire, Johns Hopkins, New Hampshire. He finally made a little bit of money, right, when he got to Oregon in 2007. He was the OC for a couple of years. And then becomes a head coach. Then he goes to the Eagles where he made money. Then he goes to the 49ers where he made some money. And then he's made a bunch of money at UCLA. So he's made his money in the last 15 years or so. But the point I'm trying to make is all these guys, first of all, he's not underpaid at Ohio State. I don't know if they're taking advantage of the contracts per se that he may or may not have with UCLA. But these guys are still getting paid a bunch of money. He's 60 years old. All right. The Georgia State coach, Sean Elliott, he left that job. He may be making more as the tight ends coach. I think the tight ends coach at South Carolina where his family is. And now he's only got to he doesn't have to be the head coach. He can just go recruit and coach his guys. And maybe that's not for them. Who knows? I think that gives more opportunities for guys like, a Jeff Levy, who's got no head coaching experience. My guy, Fran Brown, up at Syracuse, no head coaching experience. These guys are getting shots, right? Kane Womack went from Group of 5 head coach to Power 5 defensive coordinator because that's the way he thinks the path is to being a head coach. All right. Let's see if it goes to spin cycle here. One more wash cycle. It feels like it's just about done. So I think these are case specific. I think Mike Greenberg was overreacting. I just don't think that's the case. The amount of money that's still coming into college sports is unimaginable. And Trev Alberts actually has it right? We don't have a revenue problem. We have an expense problem. As a guy who took a huge pay raise to go from Nebraska to A&M. All right. And even I don't know if I've talked about it here. I even did a paper in college and gave a speech on it on athletic departments. And this had to be 1990, 1991. And I got called out about it. He's like, no, athletic departments don't make profits because that's the way they want it. They spend every dime that they have. And this was way back in the 90s when, the coaching had, we were talking about Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson, right? I don't think Jimmy was with the Cowboys just yet. These were the big, money guys. That would have been the 80s. So maybe Jimmy was there by then. Yeah, maybe 91. Yeah, maybe. So, it hadn't been the Nick Saban yet. We hadn't done the Jimmy Sexton thing yet where, we're playing footsie with somebody else to get more money to stay where we are, like Saban did with Texas back in the day. And, is Danny Hurley doing that now with UConn, right? If it's a couple more $1 million, maybe UConn ponies up, but they're not going to compete with $15 or $20 million. That's not going to happen. So let's see if it goes off. Should go off. Usually takes about an hour. If this starts rinsing again, we'll pause it. Let's see. Click. Waiting. Yep. Click. All right. It turned off. Okay. So I just don't think we're anywhere near the end of college sports. It's changing the way it's been. That's for sure. But again, we've been, through this before. Free agency is going to kill these major league sports. Nothing's been more popular ever. You just have to get adjusted. And we do need some guardrails. Okay. You're going to need some guardrails. It's just what it's going to be. All right. There will always be rules. If the coach leaves, right, and you decided to come because of the coach, not the baloney that, well, you committed to the school. No. I committed to play for him. All right. Now, if he goes to the pros, you can't do that. But I really just don't think it's coming to an end anytime soon. I mean, the amount of money, I think we're going to end up with a 16-team playoff. That schedule got out of there. I think they're competing. Are they competing with the NFL? That may not be the brightest of all things to compete with the NFL. But I think the playoffs are going to be huge. When we see these home games on campus, that's going to be awesome. And I think eventually, when we do go to, there's a lot more games, by the way. I didn't realize that. If these guys are playing 13 games as a conference champion, and then you're playing 4 more, that's a lot. Right now it's 3 more if you don't get a bye. That's a lot of football. I don't mind saying, right? Because I'm on the high horse that the NFL shouldn't be expanding to 18, and all of a sudden these kids are going from what was 11 and a bowl game was 12. Now a conference championship, which is 12. Now it's 13 with a bowl game. And if you are, not a top 4 seed, somehow you win twice. Now you've played 16 games. God, that's a lot. That's a lot of football. That is a lot of football. All right, it is episode 53 of the Schultzy Cast. Let's see where we are here. Again, I need to figure out a better way to go to my Facebook page to see what my list of things is talking about. Oh, all Sunbelt teams. Okay. That came out, and we had Sunbelt odds come out yesterday. So Athlon, the college football magazine, released, I'm sure they're doing this for all the conferences, released their first team, second team, third team. Cajuns well represented, although not at quarterback, which I don't think is a surprise. We don't know right now who's going to play for the Cajuns. Is it going to be Chandler Fields, or is it going to be Ben Woldridge? Jordan McLeod is the returning Sunbelt Player of the Year, so he's going to be first team. And then you have Joey Aguilar, who on Locked on Sunbelt, or we read, the other day, ranking the QBs, that he had the most passes in the country that either tied or gave his team the lead, which was 15. That's crazy. And he made second team. Now, Jalen Rayner made third team. Can he live up to the expectations? He's the true sophomore at Arkansas State who played as a true freshman. Cajuns had A.J. Gilly on first-team offense, the offensive lineman. I'll be a homer. Landon Burton probably should be the center. And interestingly enough, they had 5 offensive linemen and the center. So in this case, Jacob Bayer for Arkansas State made it. As the first-team center, I would put Landon Burton on there. Not that I know anything about the other centers, but I think Landon Burton's really good. All right. The one thing they did, and all the teams are not necessarily the same. Like second team offense was 3 running backs. They have Ishmael Mahdi at Texas State as all first team offense, all purpose. Ishmael Mahdi is the leading returning rusher coming back. Jalen White is the second leading returning rusher. They're the only 2 in the top 5 that are coming back. Everybody else is gone due to graduation. All right, due to lack of eligibility. I don't think that one of the top 7 transferred. I think they're all gone. They all graduated or ran out of eligibility. So interesting that they put Mahdi in there and they added Kanye Roberts, App State running back. We shall see. A lot of these wide receivers have the top quarterbacks as well. Joey Hobart at Texas State, Caden Robinson at App State, Courtney Jackson at Arkansas State. You got Jamal Pritchett at South Alabama, which would be interesting because we'll see what happens with Gio Lopez. Lopez played a little bit last year, tough spot at Troy, and then had a really good bowl game, but then had an awful spring game. Like when I say awful, like I'm not sure he completed a pass. Awful. Not great, Bob. First team defense, Cajuns get Casey Osai on there. All right. Second team offense, you got Draylon Washington, the running back, and there's my guy Landon Burton and Jax Harrington. So you do have two guys on the offensive line, which is really going to be key for the Cajuns to stay healthy and to be effective this year, because the Cajuns, despite what I want, throwing it all over the place, they want to look like what they had with Levi Lewis. They want to be able to run the football. And see if I can get these stats. This is not even analytics. This is just pure statistics. I don't even know it's 200 yards. It may not even be, maybe like 50. Desimo said, when we run the ball more than 30 times and rush it for over 150 yards, we're winning like 80 to 90% of the games. If you see the passing yardage, there's no rhyme or reason, right? When, we could throw for 400 yards and lose because usually you're behind, right? Or 300 or 200. There's no rhyme or reason to it statistically based on those stats, based on wins. But when we run, I think it's 30 times, maybe over 180 yards, because they're mostly ahead. Also, that running opens up the passing game. That's why Levi Lewis was so effective passing wise, because everybody had to guard against, that three-headed monster for a little bit running the football. So the key for the Cajuns is going to be that offensive line. And they didn't get some guys on the nothing on the first team defense. Osai was on the first team defense. They had a couple of guys. I guess it was on the third. No one on the second team defense for the Cajuns. Oh, Cam Whitfield is. Sorry. And third team defense, I thought they had some guys on the defensive line. They do. Antoine Bayless and Jordan Lawson on the defensive line. So also Tyron Lewis. I thought, and Kenyon Martin. So they got four guys on the third team all Sunbelt. I think that's pretty good. So that's the all Sunbelt. Let's see where someone tweeted out the odds. Let's see here. Sunbelt odds. I guess we could just go to the website because I think it was FanDuel. Let's see here. Current Sunbelt odds, college football home. Are we following these guys? Let's follow these guys. App State is plus 360 to win it. That's interesting. I'm going to see if it's changed. Let's see if it's changed. This came out a couple of days ago, June 5th. Texas State and the Cajuns are plus 550. People are wondering why the Cajuns are that way, because they have the experienced quarterbacks, and everybody else in the West outside of Texas State we don't know about. Now, South Alabama, surprisingly, is plus 750. That's a little shocking. Troy has got to replace a lot of people. Jared Parker, first-time coaching. Arkansas State may have the best odds to go with, plus 1,200. All right. My guy Craig Stevenson from AL.com mentioned they may be a year away, but they may not be. And those are the best odds on the table. Marshall's plus 1,600. Old Dominion, Georgia Southern plus 2,100. Georgia Southern may not be bad odds, depending on the quarterback play, right? They're going to need that. But they got three guys on the all Sunbelt defensive squad, first team. Interesting. Georgia State plus 3,400. Del McGee's first shot. Southern Miss plus 3,800. That's kind of maybe to win it, but boy, they better do more than that because of a Tate Rodemaker. I mean, they better win some games. But the reason the Cajuns are up so high is because Texas State's really the team to beat, along with Arkansas State. So interestingly, they got Louisiana higher than Arkansas State, like distinctly higher, plus 550 to plus 1,200. So let's see if that changes. Let's compare that to if anything changed this, in the last 40 hours or so. Let's see here. Sportsbook, we're in Louisiana. Oh, I don't want to create an account. I already have an account. I don't remember what it is. Oh, God. Can I just go? See, you can't just go to it in FanDuel, unfortunately. You need to. Let's see if I got it on the phone. Let me work on the phone without signing in. Okay. NCAA baseball. Where is home? I don't seem to have NCAA football. View all. Let's see here. Nope. Live basketball games, international friendlies women. If you want to bet on China versus Japan, Japan women are minus 7.5. Where are the where's the Scotty Scheffler a plus 190 to win the Memorial? I didn't see what the spreads was yesterday. Where is, I don't see college football on here. It's got to be on here. I do not see college football at all. Live basketball, PGA. Let me see here. I guess we do college football. You'd search it. All right. There you go. All right. A lot of odds came out. Or no, the NFL. NFL came out with all their odds and point spreads yesterday for every game. All right. National championship, college football, win totals, conference winners. Here we go. Sun Belt. All right. So let's see if this changed at all. All right. And it did. It did. Okay. App State is still, App State went down to plus 350. Texas State plus 500. They were plus 550 with the Cajuns. Cajuns slipped to plus 600. South Alabama plus 800. James Madison plus 850. Troy plus 1,000. They were plus 900. And then I'm not sure it matters from there. Coastal and Arkansas State still plus 1,200. Marshall plus 1,600 where they were. And some of these haven't changed. Monroe went from plus 32,000 to plus 40,000. Well, so some of them changed slightly when those lines came out. All right. And you could match up those with the win totals and probably find, right, like App State's got a 7.5 win total, oddly enough, because of out-of-conference games. They don't play Texas State. Cajuns and Texas State each have 8.5, along with JMU. So interesting that that's the case because JMU is a plus 850. What did it change? It changed to still 850. Interesting there. All right. So that's the Sun Belt stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Again, we didn't see any Cajuns in the portal. I just haven't seen them yet. Celtics take game one. Porzingis, a big difference in that ball game coming off the bench. So they're up 1-0 against the Mavs. Mavericks made a run. I guess they got down 29. I was doing Lockdown Sun Belt. Hopped on halftime, and then I think when I got back to it, it was already in the fourth quarter. And it was about a 20-point game. So I didn't watch the Mavericks come back, and they had a shot to get back into the game. It is a long series. Just because one team looks really good to begin with doesn't change anything. I heard that the Mavericks lost games 1 in all of their series, certainly in a couple of them. So not that big a deal. And here's the other thing. The Celtics have looked really bad in game 2 twice. That I know. But it does seem like a little bit of a matchup problem. I would have taken the Mavericks in 6. I'm not sure I made a prediction. I think the Mavericks are going to – I still think the Mavericks are going to do it. I think it's still a matchup problem the other way around. Kyrie didn't have a good ball game last night. We'll see if he snaps out of it. What were the stats last night? So they lost by 18. I mean, not too many guys had, Kyrie Irving was 6 of 19. Luka was only 12 of 26. Jones 2 of 9. They only shot 7 of 27 from 3. and the Celtics were 16 of 42. So that's 38% versus 25, and that's what 48 to 21 difference. That's the difference in the game, right? That's the difference in the game. I did see someone just missed out on a parlay. It was Tatum rebounds. They got that. Who was the other one? Horford rebounds. They got that. But they had Jaylen Brown, 22 and a half points. And he scored 22. And he was 6 of 11 from the free throw line. Ouch. I don't think he put the mortgage on that one, but it's a random parlay. That's pretty cool. So we'll see. I think that's about it. Again, I haven't seen, it's kind of odd. I think it's a good thing that there are no Cajuns in the portal. All right. I think we got some more LSU guys in the portal, right? Moffitt went in the portal. That could have been a couple of days ago. LSU portal. Let's see. Aiden Moffitt. Yeah, that was a couple of days ago. I've recently entered my name in the transfer portal. Now, I know some coaches, you go into the portal, you're not coming back. I'm not sure I would do that. I have that kind of policy. Somewhere along the way, you have to adjust to reality and can't be too headstrong. Let's see here. This is Koki Riley, NOLA.com, or The Advocate. Who is in the portal? Trevor Schmidt was a junior college transfer from Fullerton College, first baseman, outfielder. All right. Blaze Priester began his college career at LSU, transferred to Meridian Community College. Tanner Reeves. Is this old? Hold on. I don't know who these guys are. Maybe there's the guys who are coming in. All right. Let's see. Who's out? Yeah, so these guys are in. So Trevor Schmidt is in. Blaze Priester is coming here. And Tanner Reeves, an infielder. Okay. Daniel Harden is also coming here. All right. Connor Ware, left-handed pitcher. All right. Who's out? Aiden Moffitt. All right. And Micah Buckman, right-handed pitcher. That's it so far. Is that it? I'm not sure. Those are great losses. Moffitt with a 5.60 ERA this past season. Said he was the number one right-handed pitcher in Mississippi in the class of 2022. It is a roll of the high school kids are a roll of the dice. You just never know. You never know. Again, I have not seen, kind of odd, not any Cajuns. I don't know. Again, Chase Morgan is my biggest concern. That's my biggest concern. Would he think about leaving to go to an LSU? That'd be my biggest concern. If I was Crew All-Ons, I would see if I could take care of take care of Chase Morgan. And you can't, it just has to be something like you're paying attention, right? If someone's going to offer him $250,000 and you can't compete with that, it is what it is. But try not to offer him like $500, right? No. We do have an Orange Theory social today, so we're finding out what time. We're going early. Let's see. Always good then. All right. Do this. I've had some good classes. I have not run at night, interestingly enough. That's kind of when I was taking off the weight. Put on, right, and probably having half a bag of Fritos yesterday was not great. Weight has not been a big issue the last couple of days. And can I tell you, I don't know. I've been a little bit lazy working out. I haven't gotten going the last few days. I don't know why. Like I didn't do abs this morning. I haven't done pull-ups a lot. I don't know. I got out of sorts last week. Going to College Station. Still got up and lifted a little bit. I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know what. I don't know. Usually I'm very excited. I like working out. I like the interval training that you get at Orange Theory. So, and I'm down, well, at one point in time, down 22 pounds. Again, the Fritos is not going to help with that. All right. I think that's about it. Schultze cast for this weekend. Getting closer, or for this week, I should say, getting closer to having something to report. Probably we'll have to wait until next week to do that. But it does look like we have some news. So it is, and I'll tell you the story. It's a little bit of a, I'm not a crazy story, but something that would only happen to me. It's just like typical Schultz. Like I would have thrown a conniption if what almost happened, but it didn't. No, I think we're in good shape moving forward. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. I guess we got NBA, NHL. Yankees are on fire, right? Although Juan Soto may be hurt. They're playing baseball in London. Someone got a picture with Bryce Harper just walking around town. Pretty cool. I don't know if she was American or not, but took a selfie with Bryce Harper. So I think it's pretty cool to go over there and play. They certainly showed the airplane, which was a Atlas. And this is what that company does. They, do, for rock and roll entourages, the bands and the crew. And when you're doing, I guess football teams do it. I wouldn't be surprised if basketball teams do it because these are large men and they need to spread out a little bit and they have room. I don't know how many people would be coming for a baseball. What's the travel for a baseball team? So you got 25 guys, half a dozen coaches, training staff. We're looking at about 40. Now, if you are the major league teams, hopefully you're bringing some of your full-time staff members to give them a little nice break or trip, right? Front office executives are going. It's just kind of cool, right? I don't mind that. It's kind of neat because you're playing a series. Yankees did it against the Red Sox a few years ago. I thought that was cool, right? Growing the game per se. I think it's kind of neat. But they got in there 2 days ago. I think the Phillies left. Someone had to figure this out. The Phillies left like at 11 p.m. And so they're going to land basically mid-morning. And, London is closer to the United States than Hawaii is to the East Coast. Like Hawaii is like a 10-hour trip. And that doesn't include the layover in LA. If you're going from the East Coast, especially New York, Philadelphia, or DC, it's like 6-7 hours. It's not that long of a flight. Now you're gaining a bunch of time, or I guess losing a bunch of time. As someone who lived in South Florida, the international flights would land at 3-4 o'clock, and they're coming over here. And if we had anybody come to the Jim McLean Golf School, or we run into anybody on South Beach, they not that they had to be, encouraged, but they would try to drink their way through. I'm not sure the Phillies are doing that. Drink their way through their the sleep issues, right? To make sure they slept that night. and weren't waking up at, if you land at 3:30 American time and it's 9 p.m., right? And you're going to go to bed feel like you're going to bed at like 6:30 because it's midnight, and you're waking up at 3 a.m. because you've gotten a bunch of sleep, so they would party and drink their way through. So they went to bed late and slept through the night. And maybe that would work. That was, I was told, that was what they did when coming over this way, right? And that would help them with their sleep. It's just not that long of a flight, but I think it's pretty cool. I don't even know who they're playing. And the Phillies are just as hot as the Yankees. Scores. Let's see who the Phillies are playing. Are they playing the Mets? Oh, goodness. Do they have 2 days off? Well, they are. It is only a 2-game series. So they had a couple of days off. In fact, they're getting a bunch of days off. Oh, so the Mets now can be international embarrassments. That's fun. So they had Thursday off. They took off Thursday night. So that's neat. You usually don't get a whole day off at home in the big leagues. Usually there's some travel involved somewhere. And even if the travel is now late at night, you had the whole day. And you were home. Also, they were at home against Milwaukee. And that very well could have been an afternoon game. I don't know. So you have all day Thursday to enjoy at home. Fly out Thursday night when you're sleeping anyways. You have all day Friday to enjoy. So now the jet lag, you shouldn't have any jet lag. They're playing noon Central Time. So that's 6 p.m. over there, I guess. Or no, 7 p.m. over there. Saturday. And that'll be on Fox. And then they're playing a day game. So 3 p.m. over there on Sunday. That'll be on ESPN. Oh, goody. The Mets can be international embarrassment. Oh, the poor Mets. Poor Metsies. I will say one thing. It is interesting because the Mets, Paul Skeens is obviously having a fantastic start to his career for the Pirates. Former LSU star. But the Mets aren't that far out of the wild card, right? The Mets are 16 and a half games out of first place. All right. They're 8 games under. Pittsburgh is 4 games under, but they're only 7 games out because Milwaukee's got a good record at 10 games over, but Philadelphia is 44-19. Wild card. All right. The Braves are in the first spot +6. The Cubs are a half a game up on the Padres. The Diamondbacks the Diamondbacks, Giants, Reds, Cardinals are all just a half a game back. The Pirates are only 1 game back, and the Mets are only 3 games back. I don't know if the other teams are trying. The Nationals aren't trying. They're 8 games under. They're 3 games back. The Rockies are 8 games back. They're not trying. And the Marlins aren't trying. So the Mets don't have to worry about anybody behind them, and we'll see what the Cardinals are. Maybe they're starting to play a little bit better, though they've lost 6 out of 10. The Reds have won 5 in a row. They've won 7 out of 10. But again, I don't think the Nationals are trying. So the Mets, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams playing for the 2 spots. And they're all within 3 games of each other. The Nationals would make 10. Let's see over in the American League. The Orioles are 6.5 up in the wild card. The Royals are 3.5. So the Twins are behind, but the Red Sox are 1.5 back. Tigers are 2. Tampa Bay's 2. Blue Jays are 2. Defending champs are 3 out. They're 2 games under the Rangers. The Astros are 5.5 out. And then everybody else. Oakland stinks, Angels stink, and the White Sox are brutal. And the White Sox are having all kinds of issues. The new broadcaster who, John Schifrin, I guess, had a little baseball experience, but not a whole lot of baseball experience, is maybe trying just a little bit too hard. Maybe trying just a little bit too hard instead of just trying to ease his way in, like going over the top. And there's a back and forth between him and one of the sports talk stations in town. Now, we'll see if it matters. Poor guy. That's a tough spot. Replacing Jason Benetti. Benetti couldn't come to an agreement because I think the White Sox wanted him to do all the games, and he wanted to do, probably either college and NFL. All right, at least one of them, if not both. And I think the Tigers are allowing him to do that. I know Jason, very nice man from his time in Syracuse. He was, God, that's a long time ago. I would have been at home before I left. Yeah, so he was doing it 2004, 2004, 2005 type of deal. Yeesh. So he's had a very nice career. All right. All right. Time to go. Thank you so much. Again, I guess I got to just put the logo up there because we are getting a bunch of views, these days, and appreciate it. All week feels like it's been over 100 per show. So that's great. Maybe we start talking about some Major League Baseball more. Not sure how much we're going to be talking about the NHL. Panthers are in it. You can't find two more teams further apart in America than in North America than Miami and Edmonton. Talk about jet lag. I wonder how long that flight is direct. Let me see that. Miami, well, it would be sunrise. Fort Lauderdale to Edmonton. Flight time. Let's see. It says 8 hours. How far is Edmonton from Florida by plane? Oh, this is 9 hours, 42 minutes. But I don't know if that includes the layover. Wow. We're just talking about the Phillies. They had an easier time flying to London than the Panthers and Edmonton are going to have flying back and forth. That's going to be some serious jet lag. And these guys are going to be flying direct. Right? Fans won't be able to do that if they're doing it, or media won't be able to do that, but they're flying direct. That's a long way. I wonder how long that I get. Again, I'm going to see if I can find that out. The other thing I didn't do, I do want to do the domino effect, especially if Hurley gets the gig at Connecticut. I got to go back and do the Nick Saban retirement domino effect on how many lives that changed, right? Because it's the players creating the chaos, not the coaches. Right. One guy leaves, and I don't think I'm understating this. 100 coaches change his lives. 100 coaches had their lives changed. Something along those lines. If it's staff is at least 10 coaches, and that doesn't even talk about the peripheral coaches, right? Everybody else. I mean, I think the Alabama, social media video guy lost his gig, and somebody else got a new gig. So, lots of changes when you have a new coach come in. So, I'm not sure it's the players creating the chaos. The coaches and the athletics departments built this mess. They haven't figured it out yet. I think they will. Someone will figure it out. Hopefully it's not completely ruined, but it's not going to be because of lack of money. There seems to be a ton of money available. And what did we say yesterday? The NBA agreeing to an 11-year, $76 billion contract. Each team is going to get $230 million a year. And there's money. And that's cutting out the cable. It's all streaming. It's going to be a bunch of streaming services. All right, we'll see. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. We will talk to you next week. Don't forget to subscribe to Schultzcast. Also, Lockdown Sunbelt, we did go over those all Sunbelt teams from Athlon. Again, let's see if I can reach out to some media members, do some things here over the next couple of weeks to get us through June and July. End up previewing the Sunbelt Media Days, get a recap of where we are. Still need to reach out to some coaches who I feel like are avoiding me. We'll kind of treat it like a sales call. Like, all right, now I'm going to wait till I get a no. Don't have to call every day or email every day, but every couple of weeks. So, All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody. Appreciate you watching. And we'll talk to you next week.